This video was brought to you by Noble Knight Games. More about them at the end of the video. Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I am bringing you an overview of Cyber Pets Quest. This is a 1 to 4 player cooperative campaign game that comes in a box this size. Look at this. This is teeny tiny. And the reason this doesn't have a lid is because the lid is one of those magnetic lids that opens to become part of the game. And so everything you're going to see on the table and then some is part of this 1 to 4 player cooperative campaign game. Now I really just want to show you what's in the game and kind of what to expect, because there is a story and there are upgrades and really cool things that happen as you move through this world where you are playing as the players, these characters. You've got Roman, who is this goose. You've got a cat named Jane. Down here I've got a dog named Clay, and over here is a raccoon named Freya. And no matter how many players you have, you're going to essentially run all of these particular characters, and they are going to be up against these Sims, CYMS. And so there is this really lovely kind of technology theme as part of this, and you are going to discover secrets and again uncover different kinds of equipments and tools that are going to help you as the players to overcome the baddies. This has a really light, lovely, animal family friendly theme to it, and again it comes in a super small box, so it's compact and it's super transportable. The other thing is that every game takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play, and the tutorial will walk you through essentially how the game works before you actually get to playing against some of these baddies. But I really want you to see them because they're going to be part of the game. They are essentially chasing down these animals, and these animals are really looking for essentially their person who essentially takes care of them. But they also have these like cybernetic upgrades. Let me show you this one real fast. You'll see that Jane, she's got some really cool little features here that help her dodge and essentially move really well. Over here, Roman, he's the bird. He's got metallic wings. And he's really good at dodging damage as well. But you'll see that he's got those kind of bionic wings. Over here, I've got Freya. Freya has these like robot arms. She's really cute too. But she's got the cybernetic hands. And then lastly, you've got Clay down here. And he's got like that front arms. He's got a cybernetic arm down here that allows him to do something unique. So the really cool thing about this game is that every single character that you play has a unique way of spending their action points, because you are going to essentially spend actions on your turn, moving, exploring, maybe healing, maybe attacking, and you're going to essentially be moving through a space. And this is your space over here. I've got it set up for the apartment. This is scenario 1 after the tutorial. And right now, some of these Sims have shown up at the front door and the back door. So they are located here. Meanwhile, all of our characters here are in this apartment space 4 and 5. You'll see that 2 of them are here and the other 2 are right here. So they were caught off guard, and now they are these Sims are going to try to slowly pinch and try to capture and hurt our characters. Each character has a set number of hit points that you'll see on their sheet. They also have a number of like dice that they roll in addition to their set amount of actions. And every set of actions are unique and different, which is fantastic. So what you simply do at the very beginning is you will have a Pets Initiative deck, and each pet is going to be on the back side of this card. Oh, you'll see, look, it's Freya. There she is. So you're simply going to take these pet initiative cards, you're going to shuffle them up, you're going to place them down here, you're going to shuffle up the Sims initiative deck. And again, you're going to see that card there. You're going to turn it over and you're going to say it's the red Sims, boo, hiss. And our red Sim over here is Punk Girl. Punk Girl has an eye for an eye passive trait. Some of these Sims have passives, some have attack and move. And so I've got 2 here with passives, McFly, and then I've got 2 over here with attack and move, Bonksy and Stiletto. So their cards are going to get shuffled up. And you will simply draw one from the pet deck, and one of the pets will go, the characters. Then you'll draw one from the Sims, and they will act, and you will simply go back and forth until all four of both the characters and the Sims have gone. You'll take the decks, shuffle them back up. That's a round. So this is your die for the round, and it simply keeps track of what round it is. It's just a giant fun wooden die. But this is going to be, we are in round 1. And then whenever we move to round 2, great. But we have to complete the objective for this particular scenario before the end of the 5th round. We get 5 rounds essentially, or 5 times each character to act to accomplish the goal. Now the goal in this particular scenario is to knock out each one of these Sims one time, which is why I've got these giant blocky cubes here. And a knockout, we know, or a stun, we look at this card right here, says 3 damage, stuns it. Now when they move, they are going to move 2 points towards the aggro target, which is the person who has that aggro token. They're also going to deal 2 damage to everybody along the way, including the person that they end up, like approaching. So they're really dangerous. They're really hurtful. I mean, Jane only starts with 4. I've got down here Clay with 10. Freya's got 6. And then Roman has 7. So we have to really make sure we protect Jane, because we don't want a character to be knocked out for more than the round it takes to come back to them. So they can be revived. They can be essentially, healthed by other characters. But if they are knocked out all the way around to the start of their next turn, then the characters, the players, are going to lose. So we have to make sure that we get through the rounds in a really, streamlined fashion. We have to knock out or stun each of those, and one of the player characters needs to be at the front door or the back door. And every time you play a scenario, you are simply going to look at what is our goal, what's the story, where are we, who are the Sims, and the instructions are going to give you very simple instructions to say, here's how to set up, here's what things need to be. So in this case, we have the pots and pans over here by room 2, and we have the bookshelves over here by room 5. Those are cards that you essentially get to investigate and will help the characters use their environment to defeat the Sims. The other thing is that pets also have these collars that give them these luck. And you're going to keep track of your shamrocks or your luck symbol here to activate certain cards. And everybody starts off at level 1. That's the interesting thing too, is these cards will tell you what level they are and who can use them and what you actually gain whenever you use them. And you can always essentially upgrade them. There are different levels, and the characters will come with these, upgraded items that are named for them, or upgraded general items, and even character sheets as you continue to grow with the game, which I think is just super, super fascinating. So let's take a turn and just walk through what do we actually do. Here's a whole list of all the icons, but each round we are simply going to take a pet turn. Let's find out who it is. It looks like Jane. All right, Jane is going to be our first pet that's going to go. I'm going to put Jane's card right there. And we are going to roll these dice. So these are going to be dice that have energy, which are actions, and they're also going to have the shamrock symbol. And the first thing we do is just get that, and we're going to see, okay, where do we roll these? Let's roll them on Jane. Wow! Okay, fantastic. So Jane is going to have 4 basic actions provided to her, and then she's going to add 3 to it. So we're simply going to move the marker. This is just going to be generated at the start of the round. Now she's going to have 7 total actions to do. And again, her actions are listed here. She can interact, heal, move, and inspect. Those are the basic actions that you see here. And there's a cost because each pet is better at something than everyone else, and they're really good at it. So the first thing is we can see here that Jane is really, really good at moving. She pays 1 action and moves 1 space. Clay pays 2 and moves 1 space. So does Freya, 2 and move 1 space. Roman pays 3 but moves 3. So there's a little bit of kind of trade-off, like how do I move? How fast can I move? Where do I need to go? So we probably want Jane to move one space to get over to the bookshelf so that she can explore it. So we're going to move her one space by saying one action. Now she's going to do something else. What does she want to do? She can also do impact, but she's not in a space with the baddies right now. We want to make sure that hopefully we do this. Now, the other thing too, before you take your actions, you have to figure out, are you sneaking or are you not sneaking? And that is really important because if you're sneaking, you have to pay an extra cost to move, to investigate, to interact. You do get one cheaper to heal because you are helping your teammates, and you also are going to have one dodge on the die roll if you need to dodge. And so sneaking is great, but it is more costly when you want to do the basic actions. And right now, Jane doesn't want to do the basic actions. She does want to do them all. She doesn't want to do them at an added cost. So she's going to choose not to sneak, and if you ever need to sneak, you turn your token face up, which is one reason why I had that facing down. Is right now she is simply going to just go and do, and so she doesn't have to pay anything extra. So she's going to move one, and then she's going to investigate the bookshelves, and all we need to do is pay the investigation cost, which is that magnifying glass, and then she's going to turn it over. Bookshelves. These shelves aren't bolted to the wall and are leaning forward. If one of the pets jumps into the gap, it might crash down. So this stays above the bookshelves, and if someone can do the interact, it stuns all the Sims in that space, and then we get to read a story. This is a one-time use, and you will essentially read that story when it happens. So she did do investigate, which for her costs 2 action points. Now, she doesn't want to knock the bookshelf over herself because there are no Sims in that space. So we need to wait for the Sims to move in and then knock that bookshelf over, and then we can smush them and hopefully do some damage. And it takes 3 damage, again, to stun them, which of course we want to stun all of them one time. Now, they don't ever get stunned and knocked out forever because they can stand back up again when they are activated. So she's done that. What else does she want to do? She can, let's see here. She can heal, but we're all doing okay. She can move and attack. Maybe she wants to run over. She does one space to move, and she's going to move over into that porch. She sees them. She's racing out to the Sims, and then she is going to do this attack. So it says here she spends 3 action points, does 1 damage, and then moves a space. So let's do that. All right, so Jane is just going to pick one of these Sims to attack for 1, which is what her damage is. And that's not necessarily the greatest. Some of these other animals can fight a little bit better, but I think she can do some damage here. She rolled some really great lightnings or energy for those action points, and so I think it's okay to use them. Let's go after Bonksy. We're going to do the yellow one, do 1 damage towards Bonksy. And then she's going to move back into space 5 for her 1 movement. And that was going to be all 3 of those actions. Now, if you ever have any left over, you simply translate them into that luck or that charm track here. And that charm track tops at 7, but then you're able to use your charm to do things with your pet collar and other actions that ask for you to use charms. So she's essentially done. She did some really cool stuff. She didn't sneak. She also is able to do some rerolls on these action dice that are rolled at the beginning. That's part of her trait, is nuclear power cell. But we didn't need to. She did really, really well. So we are going to flip over this Sims deck. And it looks like it is the green Sims. We are going to move that green one. And I guess the green one was the one she should have gone for, because the green one's going to move now. Rats. So here it says attack and move. This is stiletto. Attack and move. When moving, move an extra space. So what they're going to do is they are going to move 2 spaces towards the aggro, deal 2 damage to all pets, and that's just what we do for the medium level. There's an easier level, there's a hard level, there's a really, really hard level, but that's what we're on right now. So green is going to move towards the pet and go 1, 2, 3, because they move an extra space. And essentially all 4 of the characters are going to be hurt for 2 damage, which is really, really bad. But before we do that, characters are going to have the chance to dodge. So we're going to use this dodge die. Okay, so this has leaves and it has charms on it. So I'm simply going to go starting with Roman, and you're going to look down here at these symbols, and you get to dodge a damage. He gets to by rolling the single leaf. That is his bonus right here. You can see down here the 2 and the 3 leaf doesn't help him dodge, but hopefully he can deflect one of those damages. So let's see if he can do it. He rolled a charm instead, so let's get that charm on the right track over here. So he's going to get that 1 charm, and he's going to take 2 damage. Oh, but wait, his metallic wings reduces damage by 1. So he's only going to take 1 of those. So he didn't roll this down here, but he does have this. So you got to keep track of all your pets and the really, really cool abilities that they offer. We're going to go over here to Jane. Jane is going to be able to dodge a damage by rolling any of the 1, 2, 3 leaves, feathers. Fantastic. So she only takes 1 damage, and that's great again because boy does she has a really low hit point, but she did roll that 1 blue leaf feather. We're going to come down here, and it looks like Freya dodges on a 1 or a 2, so that's good. Let's see what she's got. Yes, Freya, good job. She only takes 1 of the 2 damage. And then we are going to take a look at Clay. Clay dodges on just the 1. Up, got a shamrock, and then goes down by 2 points. Okay, so that's going to be our dodge, and that was essentially the Sims movement for green. Stiletto just kind of plowed through all of them, moving 3 spaces well past the bookshelf. She dodged it essentially. And that's it. We're just going to go back. I'm going to put Jane on the bottom, and we're going to do the brand new pets. And this is still round 1. We want to get through 4 of our pets and 4 of the Sims to create the 1 round. And we have to accomplish our goal by the end of the 5th round. So it looks like Clay is going to go next. Clay is adorable. Clay's down here. And it looks like Clay can do some real damage. So we're going to roll these dice to find out how much bonus Clay is going to get. Okay, so 2 fit together to create 1 charm. And then 1 action plus the 4, that is the base action, gives 5 for Clay. Okay. So it looks like Clay can move Sims once he does damage to them. And he does pretty good damage. So where's Clay? Clay is here. And I think Clay wants to move over to yellow because yellow's been damaged already. So moving 1 space takes 2 for him. And then we look over here and he can do 2 damage with just 3 of those action points. So he is simply going to do that and spend all 3 and go 1, 2. Now this player is knocked out. We're going to lay him on his side. And for just making sure we know what's going on, I'm going to keep these standing upright so that we can actually tell. Yellow, or Bonksy, has been hit because both of our heroes teamed up against the Sims together, and that was super, super helpful. Really, really clever. Okay, that was it. There's no more of those energy to then, pool over here. All unused just goes into the charm. Super, super fast turn. And because he did not sneak, he is going to take the aggro token. And that's just something you have to determine at the very beginning. If you look right here, it says aggro token. It says perform your energy generation, then determine if you want to sneak. So if you don't, you have to grab that aggro token. So that's just something, again, you have to remember, make sure that if you're not sneaking, you're going to take that. That's where the Sims know where to go. It's kind of like the focal point. It's the person who's, drawing their attention. All right, end of the turn. We're going to flip over the Sims deck. Looks like Blue Sims. Okay. Blue Sims is going to go. Blue is McFly. There is a passive action when moving out of his space. Take 2 damage. Well, fortunately, he is all the way down here in the first room and no one is really nearby him. So he is simply going to take his action. He's just going to move 2 spaces towards the aggro, which means he's moving 2, He deals 2 damage to any of the characters along the way. He didn't. Done. Fantastic. I mean, really, really fast turn. I'm loving it. Let's get through. Let's find out who's going to act next. It looks like Roman. Let's see here. Okay, Roman is going to, let's see here. We're going to roll the dice so we find out what we get. Looks like 2 actions plus 4 is 6, and 1 full charm. That is really good. So is Roman going to sneak? Roman is not that good at a lot of these like basic actions because it's very costly. It's 3, 2, 3, 4. I mean, they do give a lot of bonuses, but then the impact looks not that good either. So let's see here. Let's have him fly 1, 2. We'll have him go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to be aggro. He's not going to be sneaking. He's just going to squawk and fly well past all the baddies. And then he's going to use 1 to do a damage. And so he's going to, let's say damage. Let's do green. Damage for 1. Fantastic. Now he's not able to do more damage. You can only do 1 impact per pet turn. So what is he going to do with his remaining 2 is, I think he wants to move. Oh, he can't move. Darn it. Let's see here. Maybe he should just bank it for his points. Maybe he should just bank those 2. So he's going to take 2 down and he's going to bank up to 4. And now it's going to give him a chance to perhaps spend his pet collar and he can do his charms that way. Okay, so that's Roman. Roman is good. And now he's really drawing attention away from the other pets, which is good because then they're not going to get too badly hurt. Sims, it looks like Red Sims is going to go, and that's Punk Girl. Punk Girl is a passive. It says immediately when stunned, deal 2 damage to all pets in the same space as them. So you got to keep track of those passive abilities and for the ongoing actions. So Red is going to move 2 spaces and deal 2 damage to everybody in the space or that they pass. So yes, Roman is going to be hurt here, but he does get a chance to dodge. He rolled the 3 feathers, which doesn't help him dodge, but he always reduces damage by 1 because of his metallic wings. So he's pretty good at having that kind of defense, which is great. So we essentially know who the last 2 are to act because everybody else has acted. So yes, you better believe it. It's Freya's turn to go, and she's going to be amazing. Let's find out what she's going to do. We're going to roll our dice. And we're going to find, wow, there she goes. She got 7, just like Jane did. It's not bad to get those energy to do things. She's got some really cool stuff here. Okay, so she's here, and all the baddies are over here. Okay, so we're going to have Freya not sneak because, again, it's just so costly to sneak, and you're not actually allowed to attack when you sneak. And I think that's a great way for her to gain more items. And you can have up to 3 items. Right now she has these levitation boots. So let's have her move 1 space over, and to do that costs 2. And then if she attacks for 4, she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and she's going to attack one of these characters. Let's have her attack green, because green is really close, by 1 point. And then it says 1 item. And it says 1 time per turn, when Freya gains an item from the deck, she may gain an extra item. So let's go to the item deck, and she's going to gain 2 items. So she got a fake hand, which is great. You can explore or you can interact with an object from 1 away. Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. That's fantastic. And then the other's Recycle Bin. Draw a level 1 card from the charm deck for this pet. Right now, she's got, you can have up to 3 charms, and she's got a pet collar charm. So that's pretty cool. Let's add these over here to a couple of her, oh boy, this is so good. She's got so many good things. This is fantastic. Okay, so now she's got 1 action left in this space, and she can't move and she can't interact. So what she's going to do is spend that to bump up a charm. She's going to just spend the rest of it, and that's going to be it. Okay, so she did not sneak, so she's going to have that aggro, and now we know it's going to be the yellow Sims. Now, what's interesting about this is the yellow Sims is KO'd right now. So that means we're going to go through a series of checking to see what happens. That Sims is simply going to unstun. They are going to stand up. They are not going to do an attack and move. And so this just shows that we've got one of our 4 goals accomplished. We're really close to getting stiletto. But by stunning yellow, we prevented them from acting on their very first turn. And that's what the characters did, which was fantastic. So that's it. That's the end of the round. We're going to shuffle these up and shuffle those up separately, and we're going to get ready for the next round. And we are simply going to go through trying to interact with pots and pans and with the bookshelves, try to KO these baddies, these Sims over here, and make sure that we do not lose health to where we're knocked out. And we have 5 rounds to do it. So we're going to take that die, we're going to pop it over there to the number 2. Okay, everybody, that was an example of 1 round in one of the scenarios of the campaign game Cyber Pet Quest. 1 to 4 players, cooperative adventure. Every scenario is going to take you about 30 to 45 minutes to play, and it all fits in this nice, tiny, compact box. This is a lot of fun with your tactics, what you're going to do on your turn, and how each character can really maximize their strengths, because each of these characters has a special ability and a strength that allows them to be a real superstar whenever you plan it out just right. There are fantastic items and charm cards that really boost your characters. There are ways to level up characters throughout this entire scenario and campaign. And you are going to move locations, and you're going to meet new Sims, and you are going to potentially have that big bad boss at the end that just makes things really, really challenging and fun. So this game has a lot to offer for, again, a cooperative experience. This is super fun and family friendly, but there is enough here that you've got to keep track of things. It's not super, super duper like simplistic or kind of easy. There's enough to just kind of bite your teeth into, to sink your teeth into. You've got to plan, you've got to strategize, and you have to keep track of all your characters and what their special abilities do and how they operate or function in the game. So while it's really fun and charming with the theme and with the characters, boy, is there some real challenge here. So enjoy Cyber Pet Quest, and I hope you really like seeing that round of this to just see how it works and to see if it's for you. All right, everybody, I will see you later. Bye.
Here at Noble Knight Games, we've been carefully growing the world's largest selection of board games, role-playing games and dice, war games, miniatures and paints, card games, and more, going on 25 years now. Our rustic castle contains more game and hobby goodness than you can shake a stick at, complete with careful packaging and the finest customer service the land can provide. You can buy, sell, trade from anywhere in the world, just like nature intended. Noble Knight Games.